reason you are unsuccessful, the reason you are broke, and the reason why you have amounted to nothing in life is very simple. This is coming from a very sympathetic point of view on my behalf to you guys to help you. The reason why you've never found anything in your life that has given you great feedback or great results is for one simple reason. You lack fire, you lack ambition, you lack hustle. And the reason I'm able to say this with such certainty, the reason I'm able to be so confident in saying this is the following. If you understood how the world works, it does not reward talent, it rewards consistency. And a lot of people give up before it's too late. And a lot of people give up too early. Now, what I mean by that is most of the things that have happened in my life that have been tremendous have been as a result of consistent work. Now, that doesn't mean rocking up to an employer every day and, working a pointless job for a wage. What this means is this. In your youthful years, when you had time, when you were growing up, you had so much time to become something, to learn things, to develop a skill. Instead, you went to parties, you did drugs, you were distracted by women, you were distracted by all of these irrelevant things that siphoned your energy. And what you should have been doing, and what I did, I developed skills and talents of things of which I was passionate about, which then later became qualities that serviced me to be able to do something that paid me tremendously. So a lot of us in our early years of life take for granted how much time we actually have. And instead of using that time to create a quality or a skill, we instead use that time for distractions. And what happens when you spend the first 20 years of your life being distracted and not really developing any real skills? What happens is this. You're now 20 years old, you finish high school, maybe you're going to university, you're now accumulating more debt. Maybe you didn't go to university, so you're not accumulating more debt. However, you need a job. So you work a job, and at this job, you dedicate 8 to 12 hours of your time a day, with travel to and from work, saving up pennies, saving up money, to be able to afford bills, to be able to afford life. And you would be what I classify in the 90% or the 95 percentile average people. Now, what separates? We all know that 1% of the population controls the earth. That's a very given stat. But to be that 4% who is exceptional in what they do, who provide a service, the entrepreneurs who aren't just workers, what they have done and what I have done is in the free time that I had when I was growing up, I developed skills. I did things that I loved. Instead of being distracted and going to parties and chasing women, I like to dance. I filmed myself dancing. I was really bad at dancing. I became good at dancing. I didn't know how to write songs. I didn't know how to sing. But through the process of doing these things every day, I became creative. I learned how to create things. I learned how to write songs. I wrote probably 200 bad songs before I got good. I couldn't sing at all. My mum used to laugh at me when I sang for her when I was 15. She's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Later to be known, I developed a voice. I found my voice. My vocal cords strengthened. We are a product of what we do every day. And the more talents you can acquire in your life, the more you're going to get paid for that service later, because people don't have exceptional skills these days. And I'm not saying to be creative, it has to be a creative industry. What I'm saying is there are things that you're passionate about that you could be so good at, but you never gave it a chance. You never gave it time. You never took the time to develop those skills. You never took the time to just explore being bad at it. And the people who get paid for things that you wish you were getting paid for are the people who put the time in to do it. There's a very small amount of people who just do something once and strike the lottery. That's an anomaly, of course. But what I'm talking about here is using your vital years, and it's never too late. I'm 28 now, and I'm learning languages like butter. I swear to God, even with just 10 minutes of conscious thought a day on a language, in a year's time from then, do the math on that, 10 minutes times 365. You could be in a situation where, okay, maybe you were only getting paid for English, you're selling a product, but then you went on a business trip, and now because you speak 20% Spanish, you actually made a relationship with someone who was impressed by the fact that you spoke Spanish. And now you can diversify your products or your business or your talents in another language. And that's just, boom, changed your life tenfold. So my advice to you guys is if you're passionate about something, you need to explore being bad at it. You need to be okay with being bad at something. You need to be okay with it being difficult. You don't just rock up to the gym on day one and have insanely popped abs, shredded abs, and bulging veins on your biceps. That's not how it works. Just use the gym as a classic example of everything in life. People don't want to look at the people who've put in no work in that area. I've been going to the gym 4 years now, but I've been working out, right? I've been athletic and working out probably since I was 5 years old, okay? Thank you, my parents, for bringing me up with good discipline and good routine. However, I took it upon myself to have a regimented routine. Now, it sounds like a lot. How is Teo saying so many unrealistic things? How can you learn languages, be an athlete, develop passions and skills and hobbies, and be an entrepreneur entrepreneur? Well, it's actually very simple. The world is after the attention of your mind. So if you understand how your mind works and you can control where your energy is placed, in turn, you can then create anything you want. So what I mean by that is to get a good body and to be healthy, right? I would say it takes 30 minutes a day, minimum. 30 to 1 hour. 1 hour, I think, is still pushing it. It's too much. Let's call it 45 minutes a day. So you have 24 hours in a day. If you put 45 minutes a day, or let's call it 30. Let's say you have no time. You put 30 minutes a day into functions and mechanics of your body, lifting weights, running, stretching, yoga, being in tune with your breath, your life is going to change dramatically after 1 year. Even after 3 months, it's going to change dramatically. Right now, I notice my posture is not good. So me just noticing that, my posture is better. You are the product of where your attention goes. So 24 hours in a day, you got 30 minutes for working out. You got 10 minutes for learning a language. You got 10 minutes for being mindful. You got 10 minutes for researching ideas. You got 10 minutes for developing another skill. You got 10 minutes for doing stuff you don't really like. Every minute that you have in a day is so essential. And what you'll notice is when you just create good routines, the reason why the morning routine is such a thing and why billionaires are billionaires is because when you wake up at a certain time every day, you don't even have to wake up early, but when you wake up at a certain time every day and you have a routine, that routine could be as simple as you write in your checklist, 7 a.m. wake up, 7:01, 10 push-ups, 7:02, cold water on my face, 7:03, brush my teeth, 7:04, make a coffee, 7:05, journal my thoughts. Okay, let's say the journaling takes longer. 7:15, do 10 more push-ups. 7:20, get dressed. 7:30. When you really write it down like that, I know it's just like, oh, you brush your teeth, you got dressed, whatever, but you just fucking conquered the first 20 minutes of your day with things that if you didn't have a checklist would seem impossible. Okay, you get up, check my phone, scroll, call, gossip. Already 50 minutes has gone by and you're like, oh, now I'm late for work. Oh, go to work, traffic, angry. You get to work, you're tired. Now someone at work is pissing you off. You know what I mean? Your attention is just not controlled. So be actionable towards your life and not reactive. So you need to control your environment and you need to understand how you feel. And you need to develop your skills. Even as an adult, you need to be passionate about something and just do something, because guess what? When you're good at something, you're going to get paid for it. And that's just what it is. In the case of me, Teo Ritchie, my story is this. I grew up very creative. I grew up playing soccer. I grew up smart at maths and English, and I read with my mum books every day. So I fell in love with the English language. I fell in love with creating stories. So I wanted to songwrite. However, I have a physical aspect. I love working out and I love my body and I love being healthy. I'm also funny. I like dark humor. So my whole brand is a culmination of comedy, aesthetic, fitness, music, creativity, dance. So everything I do, the personality that you've seen over the last couple of years, everything you do is really a product of my whole life in pieces. You know, everything that I did every single day is who I am today. And if you wake up today and you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like who you are, I encourage you to be very specific about what you want. Be very specific about not even your end goals, but just look in the mirror and go, okay, I don't like this person, but what sort of person will I like when I look at the mirror? That's what I want you to do today. Understand the person you desire to be and then be that person right now. Do exactly what that person would do and be exactly what that person would be, and watch your life change tenfold. Watch your life change dramatically. And I'll admit, I've been a cop-out with a lot of things in my life. From 14, I love video games. From 12 years old to 19, I was so addicted to video games. I was one of the best in Australia at this particular game called Heroes of New Earth. It's very similar to Dota. I got so obsessed with it that I became in the top 5 players in Australia. And then I realized, holy shit, this is siphoning my energy. But the high I would get from that, and just from practicing that, I would replicate that into my real life, because I love the feeling of dominating on the battlefield in the game, you know? And once you realize, you know, okay, I'm good at video games, maybe I can do that in the real world, you've just transferred a skill. But it takes a lot to take accountability for your own life. It takes a lot to be conscious of your bad habits and conscious of who you want to be. And the one thing that I've realized now at 28 years old, after starting a family and having a loving relationship, and that is this: the world, man, sometimes it rewards the bad person, the bad people, the wrong person. And sometimes it's not going to work out. Sometimes you might put all this work in and you're not going to get lucky, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, if you're doing things that you love and you're doing things that you're passionate about, you know what I talked about, just, you know, acquiring those skills that you love, even if you don't get paid from them, you're going to enjoy the journey and you're going to enjoy the process of doing it because you loved the thing you were doing, you know? So my advice to you is don't do something you don't love. Do something you're passionate about, and you may not be passionate about it long term, and that's fine. You're going to find other things, but do things you really love and you will get paid from them. You'll find a way to get paid from them. If you are desperate enough and believe in yourself enough, then it will happen. Editor, put this intro closer to the start, maybe at the 1 minute mark. Welcome back to Richie TV. This is episode 5, and today we are talking about why. And today this is a very important episode because I'm talking directly through your soul and trying to help you, the viewer, become more aware of why people are the way they are and why people never find success. And success can be defined in many different ways, but this is the main reason why you will not get what you want. That was for the intro. So tying that back into this, when you are passionate about something and you're good at it, and then people start to sense that, you're going to get paid for it tenfold. And once you start getting paid for it, your confidence, not cockiness or arrogance, but your confidence is going to go through the roof. And then you're going to get even better at that thing, because then when you practice that thing that you're good at, you're going to practice it with undeniable faith. And when that happens, you will be the happiest person in the world. And that is something that no one can take from you. That is something that's intangible and invisible. The law of attraction is real, guys. I've used it in my life, and I want to let you know that you can use it too. But it all starts with looking at yourself in the mirror and understanding where you went wrong, understanding who you are, and understanding where you want to go. You have to be specific about your goals, and you have to be specific about what you want. So there you have it. Take it from me, Teo Richie. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Richie TV. We will be, me and my wife, we will be documenting more news in the coming episodes. We will be documenting things that you guys want to see more of. So if you like this episode and you want to keep growing with us, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and comment what you want me to talk about in the next episode. Peace out.